Today, we are here to help the client test this Chang'an Auchan a 500. Let's take a look at what you should pay attention to when taking a train. When appraising a second-hand car, you should find the nameplate immediately before inspecting any car, because the nameplate of this car is affixed to the right rear side of the C-pillar, so we can clearly see it from here. This car was produced in November 2020. You can look at this location. Pay attention to this place. The battery capacity of this car will be marked on it. If it is not marked on it, multiply the voltage capacity by 2 and divide by 1000. Multiply 336 by 160 and divide by 1000. You can get the battery capacity of this car. After confirming the production date, we started testing from the front of the car, because the structure of the entire body is not much different from that of a fuel vehicle, except that there are additional batteries, battery packs, and then the controller of the entire vehicle, the motor underneath, and the empty space below, electric compressor, except that its structure is slightly different from that of our oil truck. The other main frames are almost the same. Let's start with the hood. The screws of the original car's hood were painted together with the entire car. After you wipe the paint clean, you will find that there is no paint or indentation on the screws, including the rubber strips. Look at this. The adhesive strips are also original. The original factory has put a label in this position. If you look at the same car next time, you can use this to compare, including the position where the rubber strip is at the end. Everyone, please pay attention to see whether the rubber strip is flexible after being pinched on, and whether the paint surface is not broken after being pinched on. This will not happen if it has been repaired. Because the hood is not moving, the probability of an accident in front of you is low. Everyone can see the frame of the main body of the car. From this position, everything below is fixed together by welding. This is the frame, the lower half of the frame. There is resistance welding at this position, which is welded to the longitudinal beam. And then at this position, look at this screw. From this seam, it is connected to the upper steel plate, and this steel plate is connected by it. So you have to find out if the car has been involved in an accident. Let's first check whether the solder joints of the entire vehicle are moving, including the front one, which is called the energy absorbing box. It is also connected with screws on the front, and there are no traces of disassembly. The probability of a major accident happening in front of you is low. That's it. This can rule out an accident ahead. Of course, we can see the fixing screws of the fender from the side. Of course, friends who often watch our videos should know that if you want to get this screw on this car, you have to look up diagonally from this position. I don't know if you can see it. Look diagonally inside from this position. Do you know the location? After opening the door, look up diagonally. There is a fixing screw in this place. This is the most important screw, and it has not been removed. As for the traces, the fenders on both sides have not been disassembled. The probability of an accident on the side can almost be ruled out. Of course, you can see the frame when you look inside. This side is called the reinforcing beam. You can see that the reinforcing beam here and the welding joint strips inside are all normal. There are no signs of disassembly, including the fixing screws here, and there are no signs of disassembly on the hood. So the possibility of an accident in the front is almost there. Excluded, of course, if it's inside the engine room. Everyone should pay attention to this place. It has a controller for the entire vehicle. Look at the antifreeze. Pay attention to these two. Have you found any problems? This antifreeze is obviously not enough, and you have to suspect that it may be leaking, because the tram also has a water tank in the front. The water tank, the vehicle's battery, and the controller are all connected, and they need to be cooled down. Is there any possibility of water leakage during the cooling process? Look at this. What phenomenon occurs in this place? There is water leakage here. Pay attention to these small details. Water leakage seems to be a small problem, but if ignored, it will become a big problem. Of course, the battery pack should be paid more attention to when testing electric vehicles. Any questions? First of all, the doors of the entire vehicle are the same. They are all fixed by this kind of unpainted screws. After the fixation is completed, there is a limiter here. This screw has not been removed, including this screw. Your door has not been removed, including the fact that there are these locks on the door. The door lock has not been disassembled, and there is a rubber strip on it. You can see whether the rubber strip is in the original condition. The same principle is used to pinch it with your hands. After pinching it, the paint is not broken, and the finish is. The location is clean and tidy, and there is no post-painting on the inside of the paint condition, so this door has not been replaced. There is a special thing about this car. Let me tell you about it. The door has not been disassembled. You must pay attention to this place. Why? Do you think this car is a standard teaching car? Do you see it? There is obvious deformation below. Then how to repair this place? It can be cut and repaired, or it can be pulled out for you to make sheet metal. But many repair shops can cut it. If it is cut, it will become an accident car. But you see, This accident has nothing to do with your car door. This side of the door of this car, it has not been painted or repaired, but it is still possible to cut and repair it and turn it into an accident car. Pay attention to this place. Normally, when we inspect a car, the battery pack is in the same position. On most cars, after integrating the entire battery pack, it is then fixed to our chassis. So you see, these are its fixing bolts. Are you here? There are fixing bolts underneath. Now, do you see any traces of this screw? Has it been disassembled? Then he has disassembled it, and he will pay attention to another detail to show you. What do you see here? Has the connected water pipe been disassembled? If it has been disassembled and the entire battery pack has been disassembled, then you have to consider whether the battery has been repaired. Therefore, the detection of electric vehicles is still the same. Check whether there are accidents, fires, or blisters, and then check its power battery. The front controller includes our motor, and then use OBD to check whether its voltage is normal or not. We also need to look at faults and the like, and whether there is any meter adjustment. We will get the result by combining these. That's it for this issue. I'm checking car. See you in the next issue.